Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Whiskey Hotel, and today for this video I'm just going to be talking about my opinions on Hutch and regarding the recent developments of him leaving Machinima, and just kind of my history with Hutch, even though I never met him. And the gameplay you're looking at is some kill confirmed on Black Box using the MP7, and cool little detail about this video is actually using the clan tag Hutch. I've been playing with that the last couple days since he quit Machinima, just as kind of a tribute to him and everything he's done for the community. And I originally was going to upload a Black Ops game because that's kind of when I came into the community and was first exposed to Hutch and the rest of the big commentators at the time. Because when I was playing Black Ops, I was kind of having a lot of trouble getting good at the game, so I just thought in my head, like, oh, there must be some people doing like instructional videos on YouTube, so I googled that, and I think the first commentators I found were like XJaws, because he does a lot of tips and tricks, and then I just kind of branched out from there. I ended up finding Woody, I think, and White Boy, and then just kind of picked and chose commentators from that point on. And after a while, because Hutch and C-Nanners were so big at the time, other commentators were usually talking about them in their videos, and I started to ask myself, like, who's Hutch and who's C-Nanners, because they weren't very active on their own channels at the time because they were already at Machinima. And so I sought them out, finally found out who they were, realized how big of a swing they have in the community, like how much everybody looks up to them as kind of the patriarchs of the Call of Duty community. And that pretty much sums it up. Everybody kind of looks to them as the leaders of the Call of Duty community. Oh, it's 20,000 XP all at once. That was tasty. I remember one episode of PKA where Woody was asking Hutch about all the giveaways that XJaws and White Boy were doing and his opinions on that. And Woody was genuinely talking to him like Hutch ran the community. And Hutch kept saying over and over again, like, you know, I don't know why you're asking for my permission. Like, I don't make the rules. Like, I'm just another commentator. And while that's true, everybody does kind of look to him and C-Nanners as the guys who decide what's right and wrong, because they've kind of spearheaded this whole community from the beginning. And I know there's been other commentators that may have come before them, but they just don't. They either didn't stick with it, or they just don't have the same power that Hutch and C-Nanners have drawn. They don't have the same following. And Hutch's story, like, is very inspiring. Like, it's more, if you look at a guy like C-Nanners, who without Machinima probably would still be doing okay. I mean, he's college educated film director, crazy good at editing, crazy good at directing, won all sorts of film awards, and he'd probably be doing just fine without Machinima, and probably will do just fine now that he's also semi-leaving Machinima. But then you look at a guy like Hutch, who at 25 years old just kind of decided to make Call of Duty videos as a hobby, making montages, and then after that just doing commentaries where he talks about his life and kind of letting people in to see who he is as a person. That whole time he was a waiter at the Olive Garden. I mean, it's crazy to look and see how playing Call of Duty and talking about your life took somebody's life from a pretty shitty situation. We can all kind of agree. Like, I mean, there's a lot of people that are fine with being waiters, but I mean, if you look at where he ended up a week ago, you can't really compare the two scenarios. I mean, he's working for tips one year, and then the next year he is working in what I can only assume is a pretty high-paying position at one of the biggest online entertainment companies in the world. And that's pretty much what makes Hutch great, is that throughout all this, the community's looking up to him. He's always stayed that humble person. He's always been the guy with the level head that doesn't make more of anything than he needs to. And it's really sad that he has decided to leave Machinima. I think us as a community kind of always took him for granted, and C-Nanners as well. Like, we just kind of always assumed that they were always really happy with where they were at, and that they would never leave. Like, because from us, as a viewer, I mean, we can't imagine a better scenario. You get paid to play. Did I just miss that guy on the right? Fail. Anyway, they get paid to play video games. They get paid to entertain us, pretty much goof around. And as a viewer, that seems like the best scenario. I got him. I circled it back. And it's easy to forget that maybe that's not how it is. Maybe that's just how it's presented. And with all the changes they've made at Machinima the last couple of weeks, I kind of find myself wondering if maybe Hutch and C-Nanners just weren't going to go along with their plan, because C-Nanners has pretty much left Machinima as well, focused more on his own channel, which is awesome for us as viewers, but it does seem kind of coincidental that in the same month, the two guys that pretty much were like the faces of Machinima both leave, and it's kind of sad. And while C-Nanners, we're going to have videos from him on his own channel, Hutch has kind of opted to just leave the community entirely, which I think is the most upsetting part of this whole thing, is that if he was leaving Machinima, I don't think anyone would really give a shit, but the fact that he's leaving the community entirely is just, it's just sad. Because his story was so inspirational and so many people looked up to him as like the model of success of a gamer, and now he's going to be gone. And while I still secretly hope that this is all just part of a bigger plan for Hutch, and that he will still somehow connect with us as viewers and as his fans, but I mean, he even mentioned that he was not going to have Twitter anymore, so maybe this is the end of Hutch, and that's really sad. And I can honestly say I wish the best for the guy. I selfishly want him to keep making videos, but I understand if he doesn't. Maybe it's just time for him to do something else, and I hope it works out for him and that it's not a impulse decision. And rock the Hutch clan tag. Show your support, guys. Alright, I'll see you later, dudes.